It's funny, it's raining right now. And we are gonna talk about Silverstone Grand Prix. Hi, I'm Anna, welcome to my kitchen and welcome to Revondolo. And yes, it's that. So, I forgot to grab the tea I'm gonna make and I'll be right back. Start with the news that everyone was waiting, and I said on the video about the Grand Prix that it would probably announce this weekend, and it was only be announced as Haas 2025 driver. It's the first confirmation from Haas for next year, and yeah, it's several years contract. Probably several years will be 2 years. If he was good, he probably renew his contract, or if my theories are right, as soon as his first contract with Haas and he goes to Ferrari. At least it's what I'm thinking right now. I know we're not supposed to pour sugar on the... I will not pour sugar. I don't think anyone was expecting. It is about Checo Perez. Checo Perez will have documentary series about himself and his family, his fight to keep going on the sport. In Disney Plus will be on the stream on July 31st. And the name of the documentary is Checo Perez no te rindas cabrón. I have no idea if it is way that it's pronounced. Sorry, I'm not good at Spanish. You are talking about Checo Perez. We know there is some clauses on the driver's contracts, and it seems that Checo is breaking one of them. This one is he is too behind of Verstappen. We don't know exactly what it is. There are some people say it's on the points. He is not supposed to be more than 100 points behind Verstappen. There is another rumor he can be 5 places below Verstappen until summer break, and they are already talking about the possibility of him being replaced. We are talking about seats, so let's talk about a Sauber seat. It started a rumor that Tal Porsche, he was Arrow McLaren driver in for some races this year, but he's actually a Sauber driver. He's from Sauber Academy. He is now in the list of Audi for next year's seat in the team. Will be depend all about Carlos Sainz. I said on the video about Silverstone that we will probably have a lot of talk about Norris and Verstappen. We had Lando said he was overwhelmed. He said something that it was not for him to say. He was a little like, okay, I said that in the heat of the moment, but I don't think that. So that's it. The friendship is still strong, so we don't have to worry about. Verstappen said the same thing. Verstappen even said he didn't want to talk to Norris on the Sunday, so on the Monday morning he grabbed his phone to call Lando, and there was a message of Lando, so they're good. Now another news, this time about Prima Racing. The team principal Renier Rosini, everything started when he started to be questioned who would be in Prima team in Indy car series. So he said he was more worried about build the team and be prepared for next year right now than decide who will be in the team. Some names that in this interview was said was Logan. He said he is talking to Logan, but right now it's too early for him to decide a team. Another name was Callum Elliott. He said he was thinking and talking, but it's nothing that he's focused right now. And the journalist said, oh, you know that Alex Rossi right now is out of Arrow McLaren, and for right now he don't have a seat for next year. So also he said, yeah, I heard about that. So I'm really curious about Prima next year in Indy. My heart is like, oh, because this year I'm supporting Arrow McLaren, but I love Prima in F2 and F3. and F1 Academy. But F1 Academy, they are more like academy than a real team. But if you know, you know. I should probably do a video about this. If you want a video about this, let in the comments, and then I will do it in the future. There was a publish on Motorsport this weekend about Kimi and Carlos. Kimi is not doing that well in this season in F2, and that opens a little door for Carlos Sainz have a chance to have the seat of Mercedes, but I don't remember if this get out on Thursday or Friday, but was ironic because I think it was on Friday, because on Saturday Kimi won his first race. Actually it was a sprint race, but it's a race. He won, especially with Prema. It's not understanding the car. They are not doing good setups for the drivers. They are not good strategics. So they are doing Ferrari things, basically. Another thing that we received as news was about the Brad Pitt's movie. There's so much creativity to the name of the movie, and it's F1. Okay, I understand they want to do the F1 thing because it's good for the movie, it's good for the sport, but this week we have F1 and F2 and F3 on the track, but let's talk about F1. On Friday they have free practice 1. We have 4 teams there. They use their reserve drivers. They are F2 drivers. For Williams was Franco Colapinto. He was replacing Logan Sargent. For Haas was Ollie Behrman, and he was replacing this time Kevin Magnussen. And Ollie has more 3 free practice to do this year. Red Bull Racing replaced Checo Perez with Isaac Hadjar, and Alpine replaced Pierre Gasly with Jack Dorham. This time he was able to drive different than Canada. With like 9 minutes of free practice, we have the first red flag. What's about Yuki, because he got out of track and he was stuck on the gravel. Oscar was another driver that had problems on this session. He had hydraulic problems, but even with problems, he was on the top 3 of the session. As always, we have Aston Martin getting on one of Ferraris. This time was Lance Stroll doing an unnecessary impediment for Charles Leclerc, and for that the team was fined 5,000 euros. Another driver that had unnecessary impediment was Lando Norris. He was impeding for Isaac Hadjar in the end of the session. The driver received a formal warning, and Red Bull Racing was fined with 2,000 euros. On Saturday, F1 started with free practice 3. And I have just 2 comments about the session. Before was F3, was the sprint race that was postponed because the track was really wet and was raining a little strong. So I was a little worried about FP3, but the rain was better and the track was a little wet yet, but they could go for the practice. And another thing that I have a comment for this, and the other comment I have to say is about Max Verstappen and how he's DOAT, because he made a save of the car that was amazing. I wish I could put videos on this video, but I can't because of copyright. Then we have qualifying Q1. We have 2 moments that is important for you to know. We have first a red flag because of Checo Perez. He got out of track and he got stuck on the gravels again. And also Magnussen and Verstappen, they went out of the track, but they were able to get on the track again, so they didn't cause a red flag. They was able to keep going on the session. Max had a damage on his floor. They have the piece to replace. Max even made a joke that sometimes they don't have how to replace this, but this time they have it. Who got out in the session was Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Perez, and Gasly. Gasly would be the last anyways because he had a penalty because he changed more elements than you are allowed it, so he received 50 positions on the grid. But there is a rule that a driver can receive more than 15 penalties, so in the last position for grid start. Q2, we have Leclerc starting to complain about his tires. Again, Ferrari. I would like to talk about Ferrari on the part about the race. Who was out in Q2? Leclerc, Sargent, Tsunoda, Joe, and Ricciardo. Q3, we don't have problems. Everything happened has to be. And we have Russell with the pole, P2 Hamilton, P3 Norris, P4 Verstappen, followed by Piastri, Hülkenberg, Sainz, Stroll, Albon, and Alonso. We have to remember that Haas bring an update, and we could see how the Haas car is working well with this update. With Hülkenberg, Magnussen is still with the old car version. The race started and Pierre Gasly has a gear problem in the formation lap, so he did an S. Paris started the race from the pit lane because had to change some things. Everyone started on the middle tires, with the exception of Ocon and Joe. They start with soft. Let's start about McLaren doing Ferrari things. They were doing really great in the beginning until lap 22, but they have the first mistake that was not doing the double pit stop with Lando and Piastri as Mercedes did with Hamilton and Russell. Well, at least our McLaren didn't disappoint me this weekend. I wish I could put videos on this thing. Anyways, my note was McLaren doing Ferrari things. And we are talking about Ferraris. Let's talk about Ferrari. With problems in their updates, they're going back where the old update that was better was not good. It was Imola updates. They're going back while all the teams are going ahead, and they even decided to put a strange strategic on Leclerc's car with the tires. There was a moment the track was not wet enough for intermediate or wet tires, and they pit stop Leclerc. And then when he was supposed to pit stop, this time really for intermediate tires, they have to stop him again for another set of intermediates. So I'm really worried about the Garage 16. If you're Swift, you're gonna understand this. He needs to go to reputation era. Normal races, the pit wall and the team behind the pit wall know best than the driver. But when we are in a rain situation like was Silverstone in Canada Grand Prix situations, the driver has to be more firm with what he thinks about the tires situation. Mercedes asked Lewis, do you think you need to put the intermediate tires already? He said no, the track is not wet enough yet. Laps after, we have the same thing happened to Verstappen but different situation. Asked, do you think that you can put slick tires already? He said no, the track is not dry yet for that. I know that Leclerc has the edge to make a good judgment. He made an incredible strategic on Abu Dhabi last year. He made incredible tire management in Japan, while everyone makes at least 2 stops, he made 1. And now let me start with about that podium, because what Ferrari did on that race was, he has the edge to make the judgment, but sometimes he don't make it, and Ferrari has this problem about strategic. If they don't correct that, Ferrari will not win a championship anymore, and Charles will not win his championship. Lap 34, we have George Russell, DNF. He had to retire the car because it was with a suspect of water system issue. Let's talk about penalty. We have only 2 drivers receive a penalty, and both of them were because of speeding in the pit lane and with a fine. And the fine for that was 100 euros. Alex Albon made that received this penalty twice, so the team was fined with 200. Max Verstappen twice, so he was fined with 300 euros. And we have first Lewis Hamilton win since Abu Dhabi 2021. It was so emotional, and we could see the emotion on his parents, in him. Was so touchy. Seeing he crying on the helmet, he was not be able to get out of the car. the moment he celebrated with the flag, the moment he just broke the protocol and he ran for close to the fence with the flag. Also, I read a curiosity. He was the only driver who won in Silverstone that received both Save the Queen and Save the King. So, results of the race: Lewis Hamilton, P1, Max Verstappen, P2, Lando, P3, Oscar, P4, Carlos Sainz, Nico Hülkenberg, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, Logan Sargent, Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, Checo Perez, Joe Guanyu, DNF, George Russell, DNS, Pierre Gasly, and driver of the day, Lewis Hamilton. Last lap, Carlos Sainz with 1:28.293 seconds. Fastest pit stop, Red Bull Racing with 1.99 seconds. That was the Silverstone Grand Prix, or actually the British Grand Prix. And I make my tea. I will put on the bottle right now. Don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, write a comment about what you think about this race. We are talking about Netherlands soon. So, see you soon.